Welcome and welcome back. Today we have got ourselves another relic, another Echo Boss, and a couple of extra bits. So let's talk about it. Yes, today brought us a farming relic. So for those of you who had said you loved farming on the last reveal, well, I guess you're eating good today. Nature's Accord in tier 5. We've almost got one relic for every column on the board, just missing the tier 7. Maybe that'll be tomorrow. Would kind of like to start seeing some, like, extra relics so we can get some more comparisons. But Nature's Accord, what is this going to do? Well, it's actually a two-part relic. We're getting a farming piece, and we're also getting a teleport piece. So I'm going to circle back to the teleport here in a minute. On the farming side of things, what this is going to do, you have no level requirement for harvesting, planting, or making things. So from level 1, you want to go plant that magic tree, you go plant that magic tree. Nothing's gonna stop you. Now, I do think that this means things like quest requirements or things like the farming guild, how it has those different tiers with level requirements. Probably not gonna have access to those until you actually get the level, but this is gonna help anyway because you'll be able to train really, really quickly regardless since you can plant literally anything at any level. You're also gonna be getting 10 times the yield from patches and your loot is gonna be automatically noted. Nice little touch there. And you are getting XP for the extra yield, so yeah, normal patches. So things like snape grass are going to be crazy good XP. Herbs are going to be good XP, like you don't have to just stick to trees. And keep in mind, farming ticks in the leagues are 5 times faster. So while this isn't giving us instant growth, it is going to be really, really fast. The 10x yield just by itself and getting the XP, it's going to give you a lot. Plants are also never going to die, so you don't have to worry about disease on anything, and you have a 20% chance to save a seed. Now, we did get confirmation this does work with Tithe Farm, which is crazy, because it means you can plant the max fruit or whatever right from the get-go. If you're in Karen, you're going to get 10 times the yield from all of the, like, whatever berry bush things, and assuming that this works with also, like, the minigame point multiplier, Tithe is going to be just, like, crazy farming XP, crazy minigame points, which means okay herbs. The herb boxes or whatever from there aren't fantastic, but they do exist. Means getting an herb sack really fast, farming outfit really fast, and there's also seed packs you can get from there. So like Tithe Farm, that's why I have so many little arrows going up around that for Karen. Karen is definitely going to benefit the most from this relic, at least on the farming side. That said, anywhere that has a decent number of patches is also going to get a pretty good buff from this. So Kandrin, you finally get your win. Look at you. Got some tree patches in there. Got a couple of kind of like standard farming spreads. Asgardia is very similar. Couple of tree patches, couple of standard farming spreads, extra like herb patch as well. And of course, while we're still talking about it, Karen, we did see we're getting Echo Hispori again. So if that has that level 65 requirement, then yeah, I mean, this is going to make it a lot easier to get up to that level. Assuming we get to tier 5 relatively quickly. I don't know exactly how fast that's going to be. They did say in one of the FAQs it's going to feel similar to last year, so I don't know if you'll have this relic by the time you're wanting to fight Hispori. But if not, maybe Karen's like your second choice. You'll probably be at tier 5, and then this can help you kind of like spike your farming level up there. So this may be obvious, but this is definitely like the farming and herb lore solving relic. So keep that in mind because it's probably going to mean some things for like synergies or negative synergies with some of the other relics. Speaking of, we did see what looks like the herb lore symbol for last year. Now, last year, this was kind of like a gathering herb lore relic. You got a little item, I think it was called Forager's Pouch, that would be with you in your inventory whenever you did things like woodcutting, fishing, or mining. You had a chance to pull herbs, and it also did things like making it so you always made the 4-dose potions, and it also gave you like a really high percentage on saving secondaries. Now, we don't know what this one does, and they've kind of been trolling us on these images, so this could be something completely different, but I did want to throw this out here because I think if we see that relic again, I wouldn't take both of these. You know, the farming one, it's basically going to solve herb lore because you get 10 times the yields, and a lot of herb lore secondaries are farming products anyway. So, granted, I guess it depends a little bit on your area, but I mean, worst comes to worst, you're in Barlamore, you have Mixology, you can use the herbs without secondaries in Mixology to get yourself 99 herb lore. So I think just the fact that having the farming yields kind of solves that problem. Now, since we don't know what this is up against, there may be some better options. So if that's the case, maybe something like this other potential herb lore relic would help you. But again, we'll have to see as we get a little more information. One other thing, in terms of the synergies from what we've seen so far, Woodsman stocks, they're going up. Okay, you know what? I'm saying it. It's a little less trash can than it was before. I don't think that this is like a crazy big deal because I didn't think the seeds were like that big of a deal coming from Woodsman. But Woodsman giving you extra seeds from Hunter, and in combination with this, you don't have to worry about like Bale Totems. The seeds scale with your fletching level, so it might take you a little while to get the high level seeds. So if you wanted to skip straight to magic trees, then probably this combination would be really good. Again, I don't think it's like that huge. I can't give Woodsman that many points, but it gets something, all right? Woodsman enjoyers, you're a little bit out of the trash can now. Okay, we're not actually done with this relic. It has a teleport half to it, which is really interesting. We are getting ourselves the fairy mushroom, which means we can use this thing to teleport to fairy rings, spirit trees, and tool replicons. And just like we saw last year, it doesn't have any of the wilderness restrictions. So if you're in the wilderness, you don't have to worry about like, oh, can I use this to get out? Yeah, you can be a level 50 wilderness and use this to teleport to a fairy ring. Now, on the topic of wilderness doesn't exactly have like any of these things in there, so it's not that good in terms of mobility for the wilderness. But one other thing I wanted to call out for the spirit trees, while Kandrin is the home of like the majority of the normal spirit trees, there are spirit tree patches in a couple other places, like Port Sarim and Asgarnia, for example. So it's not like this section is going to be totally useless. By taking this, it auto-completes the related Tree Gnome Village quest that you would need to use these, so you'll be able to plant them because now you don't have a level requirement, so you will get some additional teleport spots depending on the areas that you're in. And then, of course, Tool Leprechauns. I think of these features here, Tool Leprechauns probably the coolest, just because farming patches are in some interesting locations, so sometimes you get some really cool teleport things happening with this. Probably same for fairy rings, but a little bit more true, I think, for the Tool Leprechauns. Now, something that I do find interesting is this relic is in tier 5, and now we've seen a couple of relics that all have some sort of like teleport component to them. So it almost makes me wonder whether or not we're going to have a dedicated teleport something in here, because since we've got like Evil Eye, yeah, we're teleporting to bosses, but Woodsman gives you a benefit on the Quetzal Whistle. That is very specific to Varlamore, but it is kind of like a teleport thing. Conniving Clues are giving us like Clue Compass passive. Nature's Accord is now giving us the Fairy Mushroom. So I almost wonder if we're going to see more teleports either appearing in some of these other tiers attached to other relics, or if we're still going to get like a dedicated teleport tier. Now, something else I'll say about this is I kind of like the fact that we can take a couple different tiers with some different teleports, because one of my biggest complaints with Evil Eye is it's not that great for mobility. Like, it's great for boss farming, but if you wanted to just like get around the map, some of you did point out, we are going to have access to the Abyssal Sire, so we might be able to do things like teleport into the Sire layer and then go to the Fairy Ring because it's pretty close. So it's not like the worst thing for mobility, but compared to something like the Fairy Mushroom, this is just not on the same level. Like, you don't have as many spots, you don't have as many cool like other uses for skilling, for like different types of banking, whatever, right? So I kind of like where their head's at with this. Maybe you want that boss farming teleport and you still want to be able to get around the map more freely, then yeah, you could take the farming relic because it has a teleport associated to it. And, as someone, I don't like farming, this does solve farming better for you. And especially if you're not in Kourend, you can't do tithe. But man, especially if you're in Kourend and you can do tithe, this thing is like 99 farming in an hour, maybe 2. And shoot, it's not competing against clues. You can take clues. You could take literally all 4 of the relics shown here if you wanted to. And it's just really nice that you have these sort of like teleport passives built in. So I'm very hopeful for what this means in terms of like getting around the game, because I bet this isn't even going to be the last sort of like teleport thing that we see attached to one of these relics. But I think that means it is time to update the board. And again, it's a good news day. While I did miss the literal tile that it was sitting on, we got the right tier. That's what matters, There it is, Nature's Accord. Just went ahead and shifted that one down. And you know what, Woodsman? We made the trash can a little smaller for you, all right? It's not going to be fully enveloped by a trash can. I can't give it that many points because it's like a really specific combo, but it's there, you know? And before we get to the Echo Boss reveal, I did want to give the extra bits because they're all related to relics. Couple of extra clarifications. So for the flask, this was attached to our tier 8 relic from yesterday. We are going to get it in the gauntlet, so if you were planning on going to Taranwin, kind of like the minion, both of those are going to be available in the gauntlet, so that's nice. In total, it is a 7x7 area. It's 3 away from your character, so it's actually the same size. A lot of you had pointed this out. You are correct. And what's also interesting is it doesn't care about the southwest tile of any of the creatures. So it does mean we're going to have an easier time getting that explosion to proc on things. It still doesn't help Kandarin with the Kraken, because I'm pretty sure that's more than 3 tiles away from the bridge where you're standing. Could be wrong. I haven't been to Kraken in a long time, because I just avoid Kandarin even in the main game, but hey, you know, it's something. It's there, maybe. Maybe some Kandarin lovers will tell me I'm wrong on this one. Now, we also got some clarification for the Clue Relic, and this is huge. Oh my god, we get to skip emotes, and we also get to skip Fallow Steps. Kandarin's back in the mix for clues, guys. It's fine. Everything's fine, all right? It's not like some giga nerfed relic from last year. They didn't forget. I didn't see Sherlock in this list, so you still got to deal with that, but at least that's just like skilling requirements and not like awful items from both of these other two. But okay, it is time. The Echo Boss reveal. We got the Dagannoth Kings again. Now, since they are being vague, we don't know if that means different mechanics. Could be. Looks like they got a little bit of a red makeover. That's something. And for the item, let's see. They said the best in slot Viking helmet with a special twist. Defeat the Echo Dagannoth Kings to claim this new reward. And they put a little shield icon there, which is interesting. So maybe the special twist will have something to do with defensiveness. But I have some other thoughts. I mean, we can see this here, this helmet. Last year, a lot of you are probably familiar with this. Echo Dagannoth Kings gave the jewelry. These were like crazy giga stat sticks, okay? They gave a ton of just offensive and defensive stats. Like, it was a lot. So I'm glad to see that they aren't returning. I'm a little nervous that we're getting, you know, red Echo Dagannoth Kings. And in Gridmaster, we had the Battle Hat. And the Battle Hat was basically a stat stick, okay? It's a stat stick on your head. It's a little different than having a necklace and a ring, but like, is it that different? You know, you know what I mean? Now, these are the stats from the Battle Hat that we had in Gridmaster. This is enough to make it best in slot over everything. I could see them maybe tuning this back a little because it was like decently above any of the helmets in the game for any of their respective styles. But even at these stats, I will tell you, looking at the wiki on like the old necklace ring combo, this is way less powerful, which I mean, I do think is a good thing. I like the idea that we're moving away from like gigantic stat sticks that take other regions' jobs. I do like that. Helmet being one slot, that's fine. I mean, I don't think that's going to be like crazy hurting anybody. You know, Mauritania has some best in slot. Corinne has some best in slot. So is there a little bit of loss in value there? Yeah, maybe, but I don't think it's quite as egregious as like the necklace and ring to Kandarin last year. So I'm not saying this is a bad thing. It's just not as many stats. It does look a little different, so it might change. And whatever that twist is going to be, maybe that will also kind of make up for it. But what I will say is this doesn't super convince me to go to Fremny. Fremny, I think, is still probably bottom of the pile for me from what we've seen so far. Could be a cool twist. I'm hoping it's a cool twist, because I'm not a big fan of stat sticks. Honestly, this helmet, if it's just a stat stick, nah, I'm skipping Fremmy. I don't feel bad about it, okay? It could stay bottom of the tier. Let's give Kandarin a little bit of a breather this year, you know? Someone else can get all of the memes. Although, would that ruin my career? Man, I've been hating on Kandarin for at least like 3 years now. But that is all I've got for you today. I shifted these over a little, so the camera's not blocking. How do you feel? It's kind of like weird being off center, but here they are. And yes, I am going to be covering all of the leagues. Plus, I've got a Leagues Progress Series planned once the league starts up. So if you want to see those, make sure to subscribe. If you want to tell me how much you absolutely love stat sticks and the Fremnik region, join the Discord. It's linked down below. Tell me. Come on. You know what? Just like with anyone who was defending Kandarin, I can't promise that you won't have a lot of trash can emote reactions, but we'll hear you out at least. Trash cans or otherwise. All right, I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.